Kia ora. Kia ora. Kia ora. Ko ai au ko maunga haumi a te maunga, ko manga tū te awa, ko manga tū te marae, ko ngāriki kaiputahi te iwi, ko te whānau ruahine kino tōku hapu, ko Ngarango Brown Awau. I am the tūmoaki / kapu tea maker at Whaiora Sexual Violence Counselling Services. I was a survivor when I was a teenager, supported by some phenomenal, amazing Māori kura in that space, who then supported me and my whānau to heal. And then when we had done our journey, I looked at her and said, now what? She said, go, get your tohu, come back, serve the community. And here I am.
Kia ora koutou katoa. Ko Hukirangi te maunga, ko Waipu te awa, ko Kakariki te marae, ko te whānau rā kai huia, te hapu, ko Ngāti Porou te iwi, ko Kate Hall, taku ingoa, ko te kaimahi o Tūranga Social Services. I'm the manager of Tūranga Social Services. They are the social service branch of Te Ruranga o Tūranga Nui a Kiwa. I was lucky enough to be hounded by Jo Ihimaera to take over her position when she didn't like the word retired. She liked to transition. So when she transitioned from what we call TSS, we have a range of contracts, but our specific contracts around family harm are in the whānau resilience area, which is more of a long-term approach to addressing family harm with whānau. And then we have two family harm specialists, one that is based more around counselling and the other a navigation intervention role, and they're both connected in with attending whangaia. We also have other social service provisions in terms of providing care for tamariki and rangatahi and oranga tamariki, and we run a remand home for rangatahi that are remanded in custody, so but based in the community. Yeah, I think that's it. Kia ora.
Talofa lava, maloni, and I just want to say bula vinaka to everybody here. If I can just say, I'll say bula and everyone say bula. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Bula! Bula! Yes, we are still alive. And kia ora tātou. He uri ahau no Samoa me tokolau me tūwalu. My name is Alisa Tikotikoda. I'm the General Manager for our Pacific Islanders Community Trust. We've got a range of different contracts, our MSD ones, our whānau ora, but obviously for any Pacifica whānau in town, if you need support, we're kind of the one-stop shop. We will try and help in whatever way we can and just be creative in how we do that and how we fund that. So yeah, that's kind of us, just in a nutshell.
Sorry, I was just asking Ngarango what I do next. Maybe we'll kick off with the panel if that's all right, and then Danny can join in when he comes. So we just got some questions for the panel here. They can choose which ones to answer. Do you need a copy of them or no? Okay, they've got them right in front of me. So the first one was, do you think it's important for the public and the community to hear consistent local messages like violence is not okay?
I'm like, pass it to. Yes. You know, it's really about creating, you've heard it right through all the kōrero today, and it's about community responses. So one of the things that we know about family harm, sexual harm, is that it thrives in silence. So in order to kind of address some of the issues, we need to be confident about our kōrero and providing those opportunities to speak about it.
I agree. Sorry, I wrote my answers down just because I'm semi-Tourette's and I don't want to be distracted from that. Okay, so yes, I agree, repetition is key. Unified messages help shape our community values and expectations. So when people repeatedly hear and see that violence is unacceptable, and to go even a step further, it's a violation of whakapapa, it reinforces social norms that promote manaakitanga, whakawhanaungatanga, respect, safety and accountability.
Ditto what these two said. No, absolutely. Messaging needs to be clear, right, for our whānau. And I think probably linking to one of the other questions is around hearing it from our respective members of our whānau, hearing it from our leaders, but not also hearing it, but seeing it in action, and seeing, I guess, our families reach out for support and knowing that it's okay and that there's non-judgmental services available there. I think that's absolutely key to it as well.
Thanks, whānau. I used to think having no internet for the first 6 months of Tairāwhiti was what community felt like. Now it's $12 warehouse glasses that break halfway through an afternoon of a conference. So the second question is, how can collaborating on key strategies to help people with non-violence in their relationship make a difference in Tairāwhiti?
Yeah, so it will make a difference and increase survivor safety, as well as encourage our whānau to seek behaviour change and accountability through supportive and interconnective systems.
I think, in terms of family harm, sexual harm, there are so many kind of cross-sections around, and for a long time, when we were thinking about contracting space and addressing issues, it's been around needs. So if we're able to have the conversation around these are the points that where there's an intersection, it's really important.
I think just what everyone said already today, that collaboration really is key in supporting our whānau, and I guess in being able to provide responsive care, responsive to the needs of the whānau, culturally responsive to the whakapapa of that whānau. And we're not the be-all and end-all as one service. You just can't be. I might have all the forks and they need a spoon, and so you need to go to a place that has a spoon. And so knowing that you're not it, and there's other people in our community, and that's their strength, and it's okay to tap into the ones that we need.
Kia ora, team. Why is it important to have local champions visibly supporting key messages in our community, and how, I suppose, can we grow those champions?
So people are more likely to trust messages delivered by someone they know in the community, as you can see. And that person can be someone who is, the leader of a sports team or holds a position of leadership. They can be our iwi leaders, our hapu leaders, our whānau leaders, our community heroes and activators. And that also includes, when I think about, tītautanga and whakawhanaungatanga and manaakitanga, the person that's actually mowing the lawns, those community key people that just look like everyday people, but in the event that there's a tangihana or something, they are the ones that open their door and say, do you need the barbecue? So it's keeping an eye out and, championing those people to come forward.
So, just adding to that, it's the relatability. So, like the gardener or the sports team coach, people can see that actually there's a way forward, that there's ways of resolving things that they might be able to do. If this person can do it, maybe I can do it. In our remand home space, one of the things in terms of our stats with our rangatahi tāne is that there is a correlation, obviously, between offending and the experience of domestic violence. And what we know in that space is it's not necessarily what our youth workers are saying, it's what they're doing and how they're behaving that have the really strong messages for them around resolving conflict, healthy ways of behaving, that type of thing. So, yeah.
I've forgotten the question.
I think it was the importance of having local champions and how
yes.
we can grow them.
Ka pai. I think in our Pacifica space, representation matters for us. It's important for our tamariki and our community to see their own people in those spaces. Otherwise, you can't relate and it doesn't resonate and the message doesn't hit. So I think it's very important to have a wide variety and diversity across the board in those different spaces. Yeah.
I also just want to say, you know, there is a movement of rangatahi who are influencers in our community and hold quite a lot of mana in that space. And, you know, they share one message, it's seen around the world.
Ka pai. Do we still have a roving mic? Because we're going to have audience participation in these last two questions, which all kind of might combine into one or two. So the invitation is, what could organisations like ours, like yours, do, working alongside others to champion a violence-free Tairāwhiti? So a saying that a dear friend of mine said, in Tainui, whakawhanaungatanga, manakitanga is only everything. So, you know, what does that look like in action? And actually, if I think about our community that we serve, where, yes, we stand in these leadership roles, but we also are part of the community we are trying to change. So the job doesn't just end for us, you know, when we finish mahi. It continues in our homes, it continues in our neighbourhoods. So, what was the question? I feel like I went for a bit of a tippy haere. I got it. Yeah, back on track. So, you know, use of reo Māori in our community to share amongst, you know, those in our community, to message those really key, important messages that we're trying to share with our community, collaboration. You know, if I think about our heroes in our community, they are just your average Joes, but how often are they told that actually you hold some mana there? Well, you hold a lot of mana in your space that you serve just by being a dad, an amazing dad, just by being an amazing mum. And so, you know, it's the whakatauki that I think of is, you know, when whānau realise their magnificence, when whānau are loved, they will realise their magnificence. So what are we doing to plant those little seeds in them?
Oh, what she said. Hey, I think that's a whittle to all of us. I guess as professionals in the busyness of our day-to-day, our BAU, it's important to prioritise those maintaining connections, utilising the forums like this forum to make those connections and sustain them. And that's where, you know, in terms of consistent messaging, ways in which we could enhance our practice, all of that kōrero comes out of that. So, yeah.
Everything that they said, as well as, I guess, having our own understandings and our agencies on our own strengths and our own weaknesses, that there are things that we don't do and things that we're not specialised in that other areas do really well, and so it's okay to reach out. But I mean, coming and I think just being present, and knowing who's in the room and who's who in the zoo is the most important part.